So, during Ninjago's 10-year run, Ninjago's released 15 seasons, and people wonder which year got the best season. Some people think it's 2018, some people think it's 2020, but I think the most popular one is 2015, which had two fan favorite seasons, that being Tournament of Elements and Season 5 Possession. Not even mentioning the sets, because the sets are their own separate thing, and today we're here to talk about the seasons. So buckle up, because today we're gonna find out if 2015 is the best year for Ninjago. So let's talk about Tournament of Elements. This season is a lot of people's favorite. But if you ask me, upon rewatching it after not watching for a long time, I think it is really good. But it's not the untouchable, perfect snowflake that some people act like it is. It's not a 10 out of 10 season by a long shot. This season starts really well. It's like my favorite Ninjago premiere, and it's a 10 out of 10. I talked about it in my other video just about the best Ninjago episodes. So if you wanna see it, just go see the video. The thing is, the season just gets progressively worse. Episodes 2 and also 3 were really good, really fun. I love seeing the battles. I feel like they stepped up the animation in battles for season 4. It closes up the love triangle pretty effectively, but at the time you get to episode 10, it just gets progressively worse. And I'm not saying episode 10 is bad, it's probably the worst of the season, but it's kind of a mixed bag. And we'll get to that later, but right now let's talk about the characters in this season. First up, what people like the most about season 4 probably is the Elemental Masters, and I'd say they're pretty good. I really like them in general. Skylar, Turner, Karloff, they're pretty interesting and distinct, and they're pretty good characters all around. Especially Skylar, I really found her interesting, how she's way too overpowered. Instead of her being a boring powerhouse, the show actually uses it to its advantage. The ninja were also pretty good. Jay and Cole finally finished the love triangle, and besides that, they didn't really have an interesting character arc, but at least they were in character. Kai was also good. I really like how he's the most consistently good ninja throughout the first 7 seasons. And I think I really like when he betrays Shen in Only One Can Remain. Probably his best moment in the whole season. And then Zane's okay. It's kinda lame that he came back. He didn't have any character development, but at least he was in character. And Lloyd did not need to be the one to save the day. Why wasn't it people complain about Lloyd stealing focus, and I'd say this is the most egregious situation. Also tied with season 5, that also Lloyd steals too much focus. And talking about the villains, Klaus is pretty good. I like his rivalry with Garmadon. I just don't think the conclusion was climatic enough. They only kicked him out in episode 7 so Kapow and Shapu did the spell, and then they could extend the season. And by the way, shout out to Kapow and Chop for being the best villain goons in Ninjago. They just feel like two regular dudes that want to turn into snakes, and that's so funny. Too bad they followed them up with this piece of crap. And also Chen was pretty good, a bit overrated, but I'd say I really like his scheming, and I like how his personality stands out. It's just that he doesn't have a motivation for me to care like Nadakan or Harumi, but he's still very good, a very good villain. He's the one thing that is consistently good throughout the season. I say that because we're gonna talk about the decline in quality for the season. You start to see in episode 4 how it starts to decline. This episode doesn't really have any good character moments, and it's also really easy to nitpick. It's fun, but dumb fun. And episode 5 kind of has the same problems, easy to nitpick, and has no real character development moments. Except last episode we had the roller skate stuff, so it was more entertaining. Episode 6 kind of gets better. I really like the plot of this episode. We really get to see Shen shine with his master plans, and that's really great. I feel like we didn't have it throughout the beginning of the season. Also, I really like the parachute scene, and that kind of redeems the whole episode because that scene is so damn cool. But again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but there's no character development and it's kind of easy to nitpick. Episode 7 might be the second best episode of the season. I really liked seeing the team back again together, and Kai has a really great character moment. The tension is very high, the comedy is just on point, and in general, a really great episode. The only problem with this episode is that Lloyd steals the focus again, which is a real problem in this season. Boo! No one liked you pre-season 8, Lloyd. Episode 8 is when things start to decline again. Remember that I said that last episode the best part was seeing the ninja team back together? But then they split them up again. Wow, that's a great story device. Also, the plot of the episode is really weird, so let's talk about it. First, Chen hides on the escape that Ni and Dareth were hiding, and I'm like, why didn't they check there? And I decide to use Skylar's powers, and I just think, why didn't they do this at the start? And also, Zane goes on his little side adventure. The ninja just leave him behind, and he sees a dragon. So the plot is just Zane sees a dragon, Pixel says no, there's no dragon here. And Zane goes, oh yeah, there's no dragon, by the way, I'm the titanium ninja. Also another nitpick that I have is why is Shen, Garmadon and Skylar just themselves in purple? While every other cultist just looks like a snake, which doesn't make much sense. I don't have much to say about episode 9, besides the subplot with Garmadon and the letter, because that was so freaking dumb. You know when Garmadon signs Wu's letter and sends it to Misako like it's him who wrote it? So much wrong about this plot. But to sum it up, first of all, why did Shen know about the letter? Like, did he just go through Misako's mail and just happen to know it was Wu? Did he steal it from Wu's monastery? Was Chen just watching Wu, waiting for him to make a letter, and happened to not sign it just to send it to Garmadon? How did Chen know about this? And also, what the hell was written on that letter? I really want to know. Misako just reads the letter and instantly falls in love with Garmadon. And this was just to create tension so Garmadon's sacrifice would feel even more impactful, though that's when I talk about next because it doesn't really do that. So, Garmadon's sacrifice. It didn't really feel like it was too impactful. Like, I feel like it needed to be either Garmadon didn't really redeem himself in the eyes of Lloyd and have him sacrifice himself in the end of season 3. I feel like that would be much better, even because it would be like Garmadon's revenge on Overlord. And personally, I didn't like Garmadon that much in this season, so it was kinda hard to care, and that was supposed to be the heart of this season. And there's a lot more that I have to talk about this episode. Episode 10 in general is not. The fact that the ninja are having small kids fight indestructible snakes and the Anaconda General's return was also kinda weird, didn't make a lot of sense, and I would have looked past them if the heart of this episode, Garmadon's sacrifice, would have been very good, but it wasn't. So, I'm gonna give Ninjago Tournament of Elements a 7 out of 10. Oh, so I just noticed how long this video is, so I'm gonna split it into two parts. Okay, bye.
Digadinho, digadinho, digadinho. Vai deixando o likezinho e se inscreve no canal.